Now let's look at a change in estimate or a change in depreciation method. Remember, this is one change in principle we're allowed to actually treat prospectively, which is a change in depreciation method, or if you do depreciation and you do a change in estimate, they are treated the same way. So let's look at how we would treat a change in estimate or a change in depreciation method. For financial reporting, Clinton Poultry Farms has used the double declining balance method of depreciation for conveyor equipment acquired at the beginning of 2015 for $2,576,000. Its useful life was estimated to be 6 years with a $164,000 residual value. At the beginning of 2018, Clinton decides to change to the straight line method. The effect of this change on depreciation for each year is as follows, and it gives us sort of the breakdown of the change. So now, what do we need to actually look at? Well, remember, this is 2018 when we make this change. We do not handle this retrospectively, so we don't have to worry so much about what happened in the past outside of finding the actual amount of depreciation that we've used. So anytime you have a change in method or change, what happens here is the cost becomes the book value. So instead of using the cost in the new depreciation method, so this would be straight line, we would use the book value. Then your salvage value will remain the same, or if they've updated it. But then your useful life becomes remaining life. Okay, so in that we change, or we find what the remaining life of the asset is, and we go from there. All right, so let's look at this asset and sort of figure out how much have we already depreciated the asset. Well, it's already given our double declining. Remember, we're moving from declining balance over to straight line. So let's start by finding the book value. Well, to find the book value, we're going to take the cost of the asset minus the accumulated depreciation to date. And that gives us the book value of the asset. So for this one, the cost of the asset, it told us was $2,576,000. We're going to subtract from that $1,812,000. And that's going to give us $764,000. That's the undepreciated balance. Okay? In other words, that's the book value at this time before we do this change. Now we're going to take from that the salvage value because we're moving over to straight line. So we're going to use the straight line formula, cost minus salvage over useful life in years. But remember, we're changing cost to book value. The salvage we would go in and keep at whatever it was to start with because they didn't change salvage or residual value, 164,000. And then we're going to divide that over the remaining life. Well, it said that it had a 6-year life, which is great. Okay, but the problem is 6 years is the total life. So then you have to subtract from it the years we've already depreciated, which would be 6. Okay, so what's that going to give us? Well, that will give us a new depreciation amount. So we would take 600,000, divide that by 3, and that gives us 200,000 each year. So now that we've done this, for the next 3 years, we're simply going to depreciate 200,000. So we treat this as if we would just depreciate any other asset. So we would hit depreciation expense for 200,000, and we would hit accumulated depreciation for the other 200,000. Okay, for the credit side of that. So notice in this, we do not handle it retrospectively. Just from this point forward, we would then start depreciating 200,000 per year. It doesn't matter what we did in the past because that was our best estimate at that point in time. So when we change depreciation methods or change depreciation estimates, we handle it prospectively. From this year forward, we simply transition into the new method, keeping in mind that we can't use the original cost now. We have to start with book value. We can't use the original life because we've already depreciated, so use remaining life. All right, hopefully that helps clarify how to do a change in estimate or a change in method for depreciation purposes. Have a great evening.